Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma with Emma Reads, and I am so excited to be talking about my November TBR because that means we are that much closer to the holidays, which is my favorite time of year, and I feel myself getting so happy as the days get colder and we get closer to the holidays, and I love it. Alright, I love it. So I know I put out a fall TBR video at the very beginning of October, but let's be real. The books that I feel like reading change on pretty much a daily basis. So I feel like that may be a little outdated at this point. So I thought I would go ahead and do an updated November TBR with some new books that I've added to my collection, other ones that I'm excited about, an ARC or two that I received. So I think I'll go ahead and jump into my list. Something that I'm also excited for this month is participating in my first ever readathon. There is a Gilmore Girls readathon that takes place this year from November 7th to November 13th. I plan on doing a whole announcement video where I go over my TBR in more depth, as well as the logistics of the challenge and some of the parameters for it, but that is going to kind of dictate my reading in the beginning to like mid-November section. So that leads into my next book on my TBR, which is Our Missing Hearts. I actually received an e-arc of this that I haven't actually read yet, so this will be read on my Kindle, but it fits several of the prompts for this readathon. In fact, I think it includes the prompt for Asian representation, family drama, and small town. The premise of this one is that 12-year-old Bird is the son of a quiet university librarian, but in their town they are being faced with book challenges and book bans because they want to keep culture Americanized, whatever that means. So they are removing the works of Bird's absent mother, who is Chinese American, from the library. Since Bird's mother is absent in his life, he has never really asked too many questions about where she went or what her work is about, but then somehow through the series of book challenges, he decides to go try to find his lost mother. So it talks about Chinese folklore and the poetry that she had written, and there's a lot of discussions around culture and family dynamics and all these sorts of things. I've heard amazing things about it, so I'm really excited to dive into that one. Thank you to NetGalley also for providing the ARC for me, and so I am definitely going to be diving into that one for the Gilmore Girls readathon. I will also be reading A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a staple, it seems like, in any fantasy lover's book collection. Most of you probably already know what it's about, but in case you don't, a girl named Feyre accidentally kills a wolf in fairy form, and then she is taken to the Palace of Fairies. But when she gets there, she realizes that not all is what it seems, basically. So it's fantasy, fairies. I've heard there is a good bit of romance in these books, and honestly I just want to see what the hype is about at this point. I've considered doing a reading vlog where I talk about each book individually as I read them, so if that seems like something that you would be interested in, let me know down below and I'll definitely consider doing that. So this one actually fits quite a few of the prompts because we've got, I'm going to count it as fall and winter since at the beginning I know Feyre is hunting for the wolf in the dead of winter and she's very cold, and then small town, like I know she, goes to live with the fairies or whatever, but the village where she's from is a very small town. And then I would also say complicated love interest since they are human and fairy, and also like captor and captive, because I know it's sort of based on like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so this one will also be added into my readathon. The dates are specifically November 7th to the 13th, but I already know that week is looking really crazy for me, so I'm probably going to go ahead and stretch it out further just so I can get more of the Gilmore Girls vibes. A couple more that I really want to get to this month I mentioned in my fall TBR video, so I'll just go over them quickly here, but that is The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. I want to read this one so bad. I haven't read a historical fiction in a hot minute, and I know I love her writing, and I love the time period that it's based on, so definitely The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. The other one, I really do want to dive into The Secret History as well. It's such a classic dark academia, and I feel like I just need to know what it's about, and so that is also one that I plan on diving into. Something about the colder months makes me want to settle in and cozy up with a bit of a slower read, so I think The Secret History will fit that bill. Also, a book that I recently picked up is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I know that I had quite a tough time with her most recent release, It Starts With Us, but I love a good mystery in the colder months, So if by some chance you aren't already familiar with Verity, the basic premise is that Loan Ashley is hired as a ghostwriter for the deceased wife of Jeremy Crawford, but then as she starts working on the manuscript, she starts unveiling all of these secrets about the family and about Verity, and so you're kind of trying to figure out like what's going on. I don't want to read into it much more than that because I want to go in as blind as possible, but I'm really excited to dive into Verity by Colleen Hoover. And the last one that I know that I'll be getting into this month is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This one is the third and final book in the Grishaverse trilogy. I read both Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm last month. I really love Shadow and Bone. Siege and Storm I was a little bit more iffy on, but I've heard that there's a very gratifying ending in Ruin and Rising, and so I want to be diving into that one. Basically, it's picking up where Siege and Storm left off. Alina and her crew are looking for the very last amplifier, which is the red phoenix that you see here on the cover, so that she can hopefully gain enough power to finally defeat the Darkling. Can't wait for this one. I also then have Six of Crows here that I just recently purchased in case I don't get the Grishaverse out of my system after reading Ruin and Rising. I think that is it for the solid TBR list this month. I also have a couple of e-arcs that I may be filling in with here and there. I have Carrie Soto's back, which I really need to get to, and then I also am excited to read Holly Jackson's 5 Survive, where 6 teenagers go on a road trip together and, like the title implies, only 5 come back. Can't wait to see what that one's all about. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I still need to read the rest of that trilogy, but I'm excited to see where Holly Jackson is taking a new series and a new group of people, and I can't wait for the readathon this month. I can't wait to start getting in the cozy vibes. I may also pick up a Christmas romance here or there, so I will definitely keep you guys updated with a new haul video or something like that if I add some more Christmas books to my collection. That being said, I am so excited to be even closer to the holidays and to have so many good books to read while I get all cozied in this late fall. So please tell me what books you're excited for down below if you've read any of them, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!